You everyone, what's going on? Couriway here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new Minecraft no reset speedrun world record by Tudorule in 9 minutes and 38 seconds. Now, the previous world record before this was 10 minutes and 35 seconds by Marin, so this is an incredibly impressive time cut, almost a minute, and that also means that this is the first ever no reset sub 10. If you don't know who Tudorule is a 3-time Minecraft speedrunning ranked playoff participant, also has an 812 PB, an incredibly impressive runner, and as you can see on the screen, has my favorite timer in all of Minecraft speedrunning. So a very fun runner. If you don't know Tudorule, please go check them out in the description. Check out their YouTube, check out their Twitch in the description. Let's take a look at this run. I've already seen it, and I want to talk about it with all of you and what makes this run so impressive. So as you can see, Tudorule has done 494 Minecraft no reset speedruns before, with an average time of 19 minutes and 45 seconds, which is incredibly impressive. Shows how good Tudorule is. Now, the first thing that you're going to notice is Tudorule spawns near a coast in a taiga. And what's very interesting is Tudorule is checking for a buried treasure on this taiga, even though he doesn't have one immediately. But you could see very slightly in the corner here, it's very difficult to tell, but this pyrite spike, this number, is a buried treasure, and he raises his render to try and find it on the coast here. And you can see the spike of the orange showing up ever so slightly as he's moving over here. Now, he does set his render to 8 instead of 5, which is the standard when you're doing buried treasure, because he is playing no reset. It's going to be farther away. He's going to try and play for farther away things, and it's something that I normally don't do. Normally, when I'm playing no reset and have an ocean like this, I kind of just assume that I'm not going to have a buried treasure because it can take a while. Like you could see, he's basically spending almost a minute to get to this buried treasure. But because it's real, because it exists, and because he's playing for a fast time, he was specifically playing for no reset world record, which is quite funny. It's hard to play specifically fast for no reset, but he's forcing to try and get a buried treasure here, and it ends up paying off incredibly well. He's able to utilize the buried treasure strategy, get 9 iron, 3 gold, and 2 diamonds. I'm surprised he throws the 1 diamond. I guess just because he doesn't want to deal with a diamond sword, just wants to play a little bit more consistently with the tools that he has. Also wants to get shears because it's no reset. That's really important. What he could have done as well is gone for like a wood shovel or a stone shovel in this cave, still done gold axe, diamond sword, and then still made shears. But I also totally understand this play. His diamond sword is really not super necessary. The only reason that it would be really nice here is because of the gold axe as well. But again, I'm not going to sit here and say that I know better than Tudorule, because Tudorule, in my opinion, is the best Minecraft no reset speedrunner, and is one of, again, maybe the at worst 15 best Minecraft speedrunners in the world. I would probably say closer to top 10, top 12. In my opinion, Tudorule is incredibly skilled, so definitely knows what he's doing in this type of situation. We're leaving with a bunch of leaves. We use a lot of the shears, more than you would see normally in like a normal speedrunning ranked speedrun, or when I use shears, I usually just like break the whole thing. And Tudorule decides to head in this ravine, even though it's not perfect, because there isn't really much else as he's going deeper into this ocean. So what he's going to do is obviously grab gravel at the bottom here, get some flint, and then not seeing an actual magma ravine, but luckily the obsidian that he saw here actually ends up leading to very easy lava, and this ends up being a very nice enter for no reset. Now, if you're familiar with my stat sheet at all for no reset speedrunning, my average enter time is around 6 minutes. I think at the time of recording this, probably like a 5:45, 5:40, something like that. So obviously getting a very fast time like this, like a 2:45, a 2:50 enter, is really nice for no reset. And I would say I probably haven't entered this fast in no reset twice, like maybe 2 to 3 times a week. It's very rare that you get a fast enter, and what we're paying attention for is that E counter right under the number, or right under the word average is what we're looking at here. And it does take Tudorule a while to get a spike on his E-ray counter, as he's going to make his Minecraft window smaller, shrink it to have a more accurate E-ray reading. I don't know if you were able to see it, but his E-ray did go up to 64 when he was looking this direction, which not only is an indicator of a bastion, but an indicator of a stables bastion because of how high the E-ray reading is. 64 is such a high number on E-ray. Most of the time bastions are 30 to 40 on an E-ray, and it's 64 because stables is the biggest bastion, so it's more likely to be a stables in that type of situation. You can see in F5 here, while in Quake Pro as well, he's able to see the fortress, and once he sees the fortress, he's going to change his pie chart to what you would need for not finding the mob spawner, but instead for finding the silverfish spawner in preemptive, or potentially also finding a blaze spawner once you get into the fort. But he doesn't need to locate the actual spawner itself. He knows where that is, or the general direction, because he saw the fortress. So what he's going to do is utilize all of these leaves to build really nicely up here in the terrain. Something else that you might have seen Tudorule do is he mouse shook when he saw the fortress, and after he changed his pie chart. That's because Tudorule doesn't stream with a microphone, I would say 99% of the time. I don't want to say 100. I'm honestly not sure if he's ever streamed with a mic. I'm pretty sure he has like once or twice. But Tudorule is micless, so that's his way of expressing to the people watching right now, oh my god, this is a very good speedrun. You can also see the stables here, though, is triple single, which is the worst type of top stables that you can get. There are 3 different types of ramparts. You can get the single chest, the double chest, and the triple chest. Obviously, you want more chests, right? But is able to get a ton of obsidian in that first chest, and is now able to get a ton of obsidian in the second chest as well, and have a really clean route here to break the chest to aggravate the piglins in that second chest that he, I would say, checked, but the second chest is the one that he broke. And then by breaking that, immediately distracting the piglins with gold allowed them to not immediately hit him because he doesn't have a ton of food, but it angers a lot of piglins around the Bastion. He's able to mine a gold block to get into this situation a little bit quicker, a little bit more effectively, and then mine through to the good gap here, check if it's a good gap in the first place, which it was, which is great, and then is able to, of course, now be in the good gap of the stables, trade with a ton of piglins. And what I found interesting in this run when I watched it is you could tell, if I rewind here very quickly, when he throws this gold to these piglins, you could tell there's another piglin waiting right here. And Tudorule decides, right here, there's my mouse. Tudorule decides to not deal with that pig and instead grab the other gold blocks up here. And I found that very interesting because I think what Tudorule's doing is he knows that he has a lot of trades or a lot of piglins in the hole. So I think it makes sense that he is not, you know, needing to kind of get that. He's also trying to grab these gold blocks for consistency, trying to overlap a lot of other things. Doesn't really want to waste time getting one extra pig if it doesn't feel necessary because he already has so much obsidian. He's kind of trying to get a little bit luckier on trades, especially with the pace that this run is, which is really nice. So I find that really enjoyable for like his perspective of playing, because he is trying to play this very aggressively. So is able to leave a very clean stables route for no reset, has absolutely everything he needs. And the really interesting thing, especially in a seed like this in no reset, is once you get to about this point and you're a runner at the caliber of Tudo, it's basically like a ranked seed because you know where the fort is. And in ranked speedruns, you're filtered for like a close Bastion, a good Overworld, a close Fortress, all of that stuff. You're not really filtered for an endgame. So you're not guaranteed like, oh, the Stronghold is 1,000 blocks from the spawner, or, oh, you're guaranteed that this Stronghold navigation is good, or even that the end would be zeroable or not. None of those things in ranked is guaranteed, and of course they're not guaranteed in random seed either. But of course, nothing's guaranteed in no reset. So from this point on, it is really like a ranked seed. So Tudo has obviously a lot of familiarity with that because he's good at no reset, or good at ranked as well as no reset. And you can see what he was doing here is utilizing that section of the pie chart, which most runners use for like preemptive, for finding the silverfish spawner in a stronghold. What he's doing is he's using that pie chart to look around here, and it's the same thought process, right? He's basically doing preemptive that you would do in a stronghold, but in the fortress to try and find the blaze spawners, and he does exactly that. And what's really great about this fortress is that it's a double spawner. So what he's going to do is stand in between them, take all the time necessary while waiting for spawns to pre-craft everything that he needs. He makes a gold helmet because why not, right? It's no reset. We never got gold armor in the Bastion. If a piglin is around here and I'm purling and I'm low, I don't want them to shoot me with a crossbow or hit me with a sword, anything like that. We already have 4 rods as well, so it doesn't really make sense for Tudo to blaze bed here because there are still other things that he can overlap, like crafting gold pickaxes. You just saw him craft his bow. He still needs to build the portal itself, right? And is still activating both of these spawners at the same time. So it's really easy for him to still, you know, be getting blaze rods and everything and still overlap activating both spawners while building portals and doing all the pre-crafting stuff that he needs to do and all of that. Tudo's then going to jump in a boat while in the portal. This is for the Ninja Brain Bot calculator because it allows him to do something called boat eye, which is basically more pixel perfect precise eye measurement based on when you're getting out of a boat. Also had to potentially, I guess, not reboat again. I found this actually quite interesting. I missed this the first time I watched this because I'm assuming his copy to clipboard didn't work, but he doesn't actually get back in the boat. Oh, he does. It was just very, very quick. So he does get back in the boat because the first boat eye didn't work, but that's fine. So he's getting in this boat for pixel perfect eye measurements, and you can tell in the Ninja Brain Bot in the top right, he gets a 636 block blind, which is incredibly, incredibly nice. But again, when we're using a calculator like this, it's less about the distance to the stronghold and much more about the terrain that you have to the stronghold. So Tudo has 6 rods, has everything that he needs. It's a very quick run. And at this point, Tudo's definitely nervous because he knows that it is potentially sub 10 pace, which is incredible again for no reset. And thankfully, this terrain, while not perfect at the end here, is open enough to get Tudo to the cords without having to dig, which is the main thing that we care about. So Tudo's able to get to the cords, build the portal, crank the portal, standing on the right block, still has food, so he doesn't have to hunger reset in the portal room when potentially going for a 0 cycle, is going to set up for preemptive, has a really good spike immediately, so is going to head down here, a pretty solid look, but doesn't love it, has some light, double checks here, and it's not this, and I really do understand the double checking of the light, but I think it's one of like the slightest tiny misplays, really understanding where that first angle potentially could have been from the preemptive, and now going more of the correct direction. It is a very awkward nav, but is able to nail it really cleanly here on like the second full attempt. Again, doesn't have to hunger reset, is able to jump in the portal animation to get off the foodie, and this 0 is absolutely incredible that he goes for. It is a 1 in 8 0, which means 1 in 8 times the dragon doesn't go to the front right or back left. It instead goes to either the front middle or the back middle, and Tudo is able to incredibly impressively build this setup at basically the highest height you can realistically go on this tower while doing it with soul sand without soul speed boots, and hits a wonderful 0 cycle to finish off this run with a bow, a 6-bed 0, basically only needed 5, barely needed the 6-bed. As you can tell, very happy, knows it's sub 10 even with any potential retime, and finishing off the speedrun with an incredible 0 to be the first ever no reset sub 10 speedrun. Again, I have done 7,000 speedruns, although I don't use a calculator. This is still beyond impressive. Like, there's a reason it hadn't been done before. People have done thousands of runs in no reset, and Tudo is just an absolute beast, and I'm incredibly happy that he was able to be the person to get this world record, because he has put in, as you saw, 500 runs, and in my opinion is probably the highest level top level runner that does no reset consistently. So it's really cool to see him do this. Thank you so much for watching. Please go check out Tudorule in the description. I hope you enjoyed this kind of analysis reaction video, and look at this is what Tudo normally streams. He streams some ranked. It's really awesome. You should go check it out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.